Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Professor Diaz, and today I would like to talk about variable assignment and data types. So first, I want to start with assignment, variable assignment. So in the previous lesson, we did something like this, and then we did, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this string, hello world, and we're going to store it in a variable. And here's how to do that. We'll call this hello string equals. Okay, so currently this string, hello world, is assigned to hello string, this variable name. And here's what happens when I try to print hello string. So let me get rid of this one first. And it prints hello world instead of printing hello string. Well, how is that? That's because this variable name has this string value in it. Okay, and again, remember, strings need to be in quotation marks. Sometimes students make mistakes simply because they forget to use the quotation marks. Okay, so that's a string data type. It's text. Next, we're going to look at integers. So here's one example, x equals 10. So 10 is assigned to the value x. Whoop. And when we try to print this, I'm going to get rid of this one up here. It prints 10. It doesn't print x. What do you think would happen if I did this and we wanted to print this x, but it's in quotation marks? Do you think it's going to print the 10, or do you think it's going to print something else? So when I hit the run button on this, so the output is the letter x, and then there's that 10 from earlier from line 3. And then below that is the output for line 4. And this is because x, the string, is not the same thing as x, the variable. 10 is, as x is assigned to this variable here, where this value is assigned to it. And this here is a string x, totally different. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep x. So integer x, and let's make y a string, and we're going to say I am a string, and we already know that this is text data, so a string is text data. And last but not least, we're going to enter in a float. So let's call this z, and it'll have 3.5. Okay, so floats are these numbers that contain decimal points, and these are the 3 data types that we're going to use for this class. So we want to do a couple things before we close the lesson. I wanted to first talk about naming these variables. In this example, we use x, y, and z, but normally you're going to create a more descriptive name for your variables. And we'll get into this in another video. For now, know that x, y, and z isn't the whole story. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you some arithmetic. Computers are very good at math. And we will add x plus about 10. Okay, what do you think is going to happen here? Just try to predict it first, and then I'm going to press the run button. 20. So x, 10 plus 10 is 20, and it prints that result out. Okay. What if we add z? So we have the value x 10 and the value z 3.5. Okay. I hit the run button and I get 13.5. So this addition is outputted into the console. And notice the answer is a float. So the integer gets promoted to a float data type. And that's why we have the final result as a float. Okay. What if we did something a little wacky? What if we try to print the 10 and the text "I am a string"? Let's see if we can mix print statements and data types. So let's try x plus y and see what happens. We get an error. And you're gonna see a lot of these in this class, these error messages, and they're very useful. So sometimes it's hard to decipher what the problem is, even when the output message tries to show you, but you should still try to read it anyway. In this case, it's pretty clear. Unsupported operand type for this plus symbol, int and string. So the x is the int, the y is the string, and they're not the same data type. So I cannot combine them with the plus. And it makes sense. I can't add 10 to some letters. That doesn't make sense. Okay. What about what if I wanted to have an output statement that's a little bit more clear? Let's say I want to write that x is, and then what the value of x is in the print statement. What I mean is, we'll do x is, and then we are going to put a space there, comma, x. Okay, so I have an x equals and an empty space here. I'm going to run that. It's taking a second to run. Let me try again. Okay, and we get x equals 10. So our output now illustrates that x, this string here, is 10. And this is going to be really helpful when you're trying to debug your programs, especially in like REPL, that it has a debugger of its own, but sometimes the quick and dirty way is the better way. Depends what you're doing. Next, I want to show you another way that you can incorporate these strings and other variable values. So let's try y is, okay, we're going to go plus, y is plus, I am a string. Let's have it say this is a print statement. I don't think I spelled that right. All right. So what do you think is going to happen when we take this y and add it to this text here? This is a print statement text. So I want you to think about it first before we run the code. So when I run it, so here's the x equals 10 from before on line 5. And below that it says y equals, this is a print statement. Why does it say that and not I am a string, this is a print statement? Well, because the variable y is much different than this string y right here. They're different. So here's another way that you can concatenate. We call this concatenating two strings together. And you could think about this plus symbol as like a type of glue that's going to combine both of the strings together. There is another way that we can print some of our variables. Let me go ahead and get rid of these for now. If you want to keep them on the code that you're working on, if you're following along, that's fine. Just realize that you're going to have more items in the output if you keep them there. All right, and let's go ahead and try this one. Print, and let's say x equals, and then remember that we were trying to do this concatenation between this number and this string, and it didn't work last time. Something that we can do is called casting. So we will cast x as a string, and now that this is temporarily a string, it will play nice with the other string. So if these are technically two strings, then this concatenation here, this should work. So I'm going to press run. And we have x equal to 10. So str is something that we're going to use to alter temporarily the value of our variable into a string so that you can use it with other strings. So that's something that's cool. And I think let's do one more. Okay, finally, let's go ahead and try to print an addition. So we'll say print, got a whole bunch going on here. Print x plus y. Okay, what do you think is going to happen? Well, we know that the string x plus y is different than the integer x plus y. So we're going to get x plus y here. And let's continue by putting an equal sign and then a comma. And we can do, well, let's do concatenation better yet. And then we can do str x plus z. Oops. This should be a z. I just realized that I put a y there. I'm sorry. It should be the z because, again, the integer does not play nice with the string when we try to concatenate them together. They are not the same data type and they cannot be used within the print statement together. Okay, so this is correct, x plus 2. And let's try this one. The value is casted, x plus z is casted here, and there it is, 13.5. I hope you can't hear the dog barking in the background. I'll go ahead and try to edit most of that out. And that's it for today. So I hope that you find this video useful, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.